Hi everybody, it's Trap Witch here in Atlanta, Georgia, coming to bring you a new moon in Libra reading for October 8th, 2018. It is currently October 4th, and tomorrow we are about to start Venus retrograde. Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of love, and so many of us are trying to find the balance between the scales this season when it firstly comes to our self-love before it comes to our interconnected relationships with others. 2018 is a huge year for partnership. 2018, if you do the numerology, some people will say it is, some people will say it's not, but it's a 2 year. 2 year is greatly about balance and partnership, and a lot of people don't realize that partnership starts within before it goes without. And so a lot of people during this season, Libra, and as we go into Venus retrograde, in 2018 in general, let's just say, are really starting to reanalyze their partnerships and their self-love in reflection to that, just so that they can stay in balance and make sure that they are maximizing on what they can get from relationship partnerships for their life. Justice is a huge theme this season. And so for me, I'm an Aquarius, Leo rising, Libra moon. Libra season is definitely bringing up everything from the shadows for me to really start tackling before I move forward into the next season of my life next year, 2019, right? Where it's going to probably be a big shift from the clearing of old relationship karma into a new relationship with self. And a lot of us during the eclipse season, again, I'm an Aquarius, so I've been getting my ass dragged. A lot of things have been happening in Aquarius, especially Mars in Aquarius. And so a lot of analyzation. So for those of you, like I said, who don't know me, I'm an intuitive intercessory that stands as a bridge. Stands in the gap to help you find your power to make the bridge to cross. I know how to build bridges, but I help people build their own bridges towards their obstacles and getting over them. And so with that being said, a lot of us right now are being forced to hold space for ourselves and other people. The big theme of the scales this season, think of Mott, think of balance, what is fair? The other day I had to say to my friend, I said, love, fairness, everything is going to turn out fairly. But we have to ask ourselves, are we sitting there complaining, saying, is something not fair? But also, are we being fair to ourselves? And so today, I was really thinking about how this season brings up boundaries. And I was sitting with myself and I was like, you know how people say Jesus be a fence? And that meaning literally is like asking Jesus or spirit in general to step in and to become a boundary, to keep out the negative things and keep in the good things. I personally think that Jesus has done enough. Supposedly, I pass signs all the time that says this country needs Jesus, and it's like, no, we need Christ consciousness. And Christ consciousness, even though I'm a bruja, I'm a witch, it's something that's really coming up this year, of living in really unapologetic, unconditional love, but still putting your boundaries with people, and also moving in a way that you want to be treated, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. But a lot of us don't even know how to fairly fucking treat ourselves. So we're asking spirit to be a fence to keep out the bad things and to preserve the good things, keep that in. But it's actually our job and our accountability to do so. So with that being said, a lot of us, we need to give ourselves permission to reinforce our technology, okay? And when I say reinforce our technology, last night I had a dream that my computer was broken and I was really upset. My technology was broken, okay? And at any point in time, if we've learned with technology, when things no longer serve us in technology, we have to update them. We have to replace them. And a lot of us are having a hard time within our self-love of definitely saying that it's okay to get something brand new. Because especially with our technology, sometimes our cars, our computers, our phones, we will hold on to them till they are little to no functioning anymore, okay? And so what I want you to really tell yourself today is that it is okay and you can give yourself permission to act brand new, especially if the fucking technology and the way that you have been reinforcing things up until this point is no longer working for you. Because when you get to Judgment Day, when you go to reincarnate, whatever the fuck you believe in, and you get to the door, it's like, can I get in? You know, can I get in? Do I have admission? And all of a sudden they're like, nah. And you say, why? And you're like, well, this is the way you handle X, Y, and Z. Nobody is going to give a fuck that you said, well, my man at the time, this, my friend, this and that. Nobody gives a fuck because you are accountable for your own mind. You are accountable for your own balance and the karma that you have inhabited on this existence. This season is huge for karma. And what I want people to understand is that you thinking that you are a good person has nothing to do with the karma that you are dealt, because sometimes people say, well, why do bad things happen to good people? Because sometimes even good people don't put boundaries on their love and how they love other people, okay? Unconditional, right? Unconditional love, right? It's not going to ask you to harm yourself in the process of loving someone else. Codependency is a huge theme coming up this season. I know myself that up until this week, I would always say, especially in regards to my mother, because I watched this reading that talks about the mother wound coming up, the nurture, the mother wound. Your mother's like usually the first female energy that you have in this world that teaches you how to love yourself. And for me, I always said my mama was a codependent, and I'm not like that. But I never realized how much of her codependency actually rubbed off on me. Even if someone thinks that they want to love you so much that they become stifling, that in order for you to also, how do I even word this? I had to realize that in my relationships, I was doing the same thing. I was like, oh no, I'm just a healer. I'm a fixer. I'm a whatever. And I was like, but I'm showing you unconditional love. Why don't you love me back? Because never in your life are you supposed to go above and beyond to fix and to heal and to this and that and still causing harm to yourself. That's you know, one of the best things that I've seen this year that said, make sure when you're trying to help somebody, you're not interrupting their karma. And make sure you're not taking on some excess of your own that you don't need to. A lot of us are having to reinforce things that are just no longer working, right? Fences. Again, back to the fence reference. Fences keep things out. Okay? And if your fence is collapsing right now, it's not doing its job. Fences are definitely to protect us. And a lot of you guys with the scales of your balance right now, you're having a hard time because you're feeling weighed down, but you don't realize that the energy that you're inviting into your equations got one foot on it. It's almost like, you know, that joke that people play, you step on the scale and they're actually stepping on behind you. You're like, oh my God, why do I weigh so much? You know, last night, I don't know why, you know, the song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, popped into my head. It's like, you know, bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Well, you know, carrying all those bags like that. And a lot of us are getting weighed down energetically by things that are just honestly holding us back at this point in our life, especially in relations to other people. Knowing when to love and knowing when not to love. And when I say the word love, I mean some things that we have are actually not love. They are lust, or they are enablements. They are things that make us feel better about ourselves in a very unhealthy manner. It's toxic. So these are some things that I want you to keep in mind going into this new moon in Libra on the 8th is, how do you nurture yourself and how do you nurture other people? And is that healthy? Okay? Is it codependent? Am I enforcing boundaries within myself and with other people? Am I keeping all the good stuff in and protecting it and making sure it's going to good use? Or am I doing an efficient job to keep things out that are invasive to my love? A lot of us have friendships and partnerships that are invasive, unhealthy, and keeps us away from our independence. Ultimately, partnerships and relations in this world are supposed to be interdependent, meaning you as a fully functioning independent soul, you are not codependent on other people for your survival, especially based on your love. You're only interdependent, meaning you're a solely functioning being, but you work and can conjoin with people to make things work and serve a higher purpose. But if you are in relations that are serving not your purpose, not that person's purpose, it's one-sided, or it's just setting you back, one thing I will tell you, okay, is that if you are going to do bad in this life, do bad all by your motherfucking self. Because I hate to see people who are with friends, we're going to put that in quotation, friends, relationships, all of these things, and everybody's doing bad. And that's because it's a reflection of your self-love and what you will tolerate and what you won't accept. And in this season, as we're in the fourth quarter of the year, as the trees are shedding and we're seeing how beautiful it is to really let dead shit go. When the trees are bare, you're going to see how vulnerable that season is going to make you as we go into winter. Because in the harvest, we collect a lot of our blessings. We collect a lot of our fruit, right? And how many of you are starving right now? How many of you are actually reaping from the work that you've done over the summer, and you're coming into a new sense of self? You're coming into a new sense of independence. If some of you are feeling like you are starving because you're not getting what need to get from other people, ask yourself how much of that is because you're not patient enough to do the work within yourself. A lot of self-love equally comes from your logic as it does from the heart. And if these scales, if your logic is outweighing your heart, you in problems. And if your heart is outweighing your logic, you in problems. What I'm seeing also too this season is a lot of people who are reactionary people are acting the fuck up when other people are not giving them the response that they desire to feed this succubi energy that's sucking off of other people, this vampiric energy that says, please love me, give me your love, give me, let me take. Put the fence up. That's your job, to put the fence up. You are allowed to act brand fucking new. You are allowed to, in this moment, whether it be right now, yesterday, tomorrow, going forward, you have the right to act brand new with people. Because if your scales are tipping out of balance, you need a new approach and you need a new way of reinforcing to bring yourself back into equilibrium. Okay? I really love a lot of Libras that are in the media. There's a lot of Libras that are in entertainment. We have Cardi B, we have Will Smith, we have Young Jeezy, we have Lil Wayne, we have Eminem, we have who else? T.I. So many Libra people. And one thing I notice about Libra people is that they are very reinventive. I really love what Will Smith is doing right now, where he's gone from being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to this, once a year, pretty much once a year quality actor. And now moving from the quality that he's put into his projects of film now into a new level of philanthropy and trying to affect the world better. All evolutions of love. And I just feel that reinvention surrounding Libras, especially, let's look at Cardi B, okay? She's going through her own bullshit right now, but I still think she's struggling with some self-love issues and self-esteem issues. She's letting the demons and shit get in her head. But You know, you are allowed to reinvent yourself. You are allowed to go from the strip club to TV to this being this major star that's shattering so many records that nobody saw it coming, all because of the desire to reinvent yourself. And you have the right to act brand new. So what? Yesterday I was this person that you thought you knew, and now I know myself better. And every day we wake up and we're supposed to know ourselves better. And the truth is, in every moment, things change and we're supposed to change. And we're allowed to change our mind if something is not serving us. So I really want to emphasize, man, this is a long talk before I start the reading, that you are allowed to change your mind this season. Okay? Because if something is literally tipping your scales and making you feel uneasy, you're allowed to do what you have to do to bring yourself back into equilibrium so things are not one-sided. One-sided shit is not love. Okay? One-sided shit is really not love. Okay? And when I say that, I want you to understand that if you give something from the goodness of your heart with no expectation and no whatever, then that's not one-sided. Okay? You gave, but at the same time you're not expecting to get back. So it's not one-sided. One-sided is when you're giving and no one has agreed to balance that out. It's like, you know, and so another word that's really coming up for me this season is, I can never say it right. Let's go. Reciprocity. Being reciprocal. Okay? Balance. Relationships that are reciprocal and that allow you to also receive. But in order to receive, you have to be very aware of what you're giving. And is it an imbalance? Is it a reflection? Is it, you know, because we often meet these relationships that we have in our life at the level that we're at. And so if you're attracting a lot of things that are draining your energy and all of these things, it's like, well, is it because you've said that that's okay? That you're willing to give more a lot of times than what you're willing to receive? That you just can give, but it's not fair? And so if it's not fair to you, pull back and balance the scales out. I've been talking way too long. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. So, before we start, we're going to take some deep breaths. Let's just take 5 deep breaths. What we're also going to do is, if you need to do so, get you a notebook, take some notes. A lot of these things coming up, just remember them. So if you have things come up in your life that resonate with anything that I said, you know how to approach it logically, not reactionary, but regulatory. So you can use your logic, take some time to meditate, and how do I say, balance out and regulate the situation. Bring the scales back into balance as I drop all these cards on the ground. 1 second, y'all. Ugh. Pause. See? You see how I feel like Spirit said, bitch, you had to take a moment because you literally dropped everything on the ground. They can meditate for a second. They can fucking wait as you get yourself back into balance because shit flew out. So, again, this is a forecast or a illumination of how to use this energy that we have coming up on October 8th for this new moon in Libra. And, you know, if anything really resonates and speaks to your spirit, listen. Because there's a reason why it's coming up for you. And you need to listen because it's probably something that you done heard before. Now it's a confirmation. So what you gonna do about it? You gonna continue to complain that just shit ain't fair, or you gonna fucking do something about it? Spirit, I call you in on behalf of the collective. And we ask for the highest good. We were supposed to take 5 breaths, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it. Spirit, we call you in on behalf of the collective, and we ask for the highest good of all those involved with harm to none. We ask for clarity. We ask for clear perception. I ask Elegua to open the roads to precise messages, allowing us to illuminate what it is that we need to know from the subconscious level, from the shadows at this time, especially about things that we need to bring into equilibrium in our life and bring back to balance and in restoration and reflection of our self-love. That's definitely in regards to the personal relationships that we have with lovers, friends, and with ourselves, firstly and foremost, before we even serve anybody else. I ask, what are we supposed to do with this energy in the new moon on Libra, October 8th, in order to fulfill our mission going forward? I ask the Egun, the ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, archangels of benevolence only to assist in this reading and to guide us to put our intentions and attentions in the right place, to be of maximum execution of our highest potential energy, and also, like I said before, firstly be of servitude to ourselves, and then secondly others. What is it that we need to know going into this season? New moon in Libra, 4th quarter of the year, also as Venus enters into retrograde. Haha. Whew. Lego. First card, Nanan Baklu. And also, I'm reading from the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck by Sally Ann Glassman. And then I'm complementing it with a Doreen Virtue Goddess Oracle deck. And so, a lot of the rant, intuitive rant that I just went on is very in line with what I'm seeing. Okay? Nanan Baklu, Two of Swords. Two of Swords. In this card, though, you see two people that are under a tree. And they are making an exchange. Notice how what they are exchanging meets each other in the middle. It's a fair exchange. And this card talks about how they're exchanging the secrets of magic, okay? This one guy is like, hey, I got some mandrake root. And the other guy's, yeah, I got some herbs. You want to meet in the middle, okay? Meeting in the middle. In all of your exchanges going forward, it is about not compromising to meet in the middle, but just making sure things are fair. And this is the thing, in our interpersonal relationships, you have to ask if the situation is first and foremost fair to you, because we can't play the victim a lot of times when we knew what was there. We knew what it was. A lot of us know what the fuck it is we're doing, but we don't want to take responsibility for that transaction. You understand? The Two of Swords in the traditional tarot, I want to show you what it looks like, okay? Two of Swords. Two of Swords is this woman, okay? And she is seated with these two swords across her heart. She's blindfolded. Look at the moon. There's water behind her as well. I'm going to read this intuitively, so I'm not really going to be reading from the traditional meaning. But what I'm getting coming through is being very grounded. Being, you know, she's seated. Being at peace. Being at ease with a decision that she has to make, okay? She's got these swords across her heart, okay? And she's blindfolded. And the moon and the water, for me, represents a lot to do with your intuition and creation, okay? And shadow. And so sometimes you have to go within intuitively. You have to really ask yourself in blind faith, right? Although you might not be able to see things, trusting yourself to make the right decisions that are good in favor of your heart and maybe the other person's as well. But again, transactions not at the cost of fucking robbing yourself. And why do I say that? Because the second card we have is the Seven of Swords, but in this deck is Urzuli Freda Dahomey. There's a lot of superficialness going on in the air right now. Urzuli Freda is a love goddess, but in this card, she's bawling her eyes out in the mirror with all of these just fucking tears creating waves with this little boat, right? Look how put together she is, though, right? A lot of us feed into the superficialness of relationships, a lot of times, and then we rob it. And so I want you to ask yourself, right? Superficially, anybody you're in a friendship with, anybody you're related to, whether it be your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, or even your friendships. Are you allowing yourself to be robbed in some of these transactions based on the superficialness of the label of who they are to you or who you think they are to you? And it's not a fair exchange? Are you, this is what I want to tell you. A lot of people, you feel me? Listen to me now. A lot of people make sober decisions and they act like they were drunk. But a lot of people are like intoxicated by their feelings. They get intoxicated by their feelings on a very superficial level. Well, that's my mama, and my mom is supposed to, well, I love him. And sober decisions, make sober decisions, because a lot of people out here right now, they drunk in fucking love, okay? They're just saying, but that person's supposed to love. What I've come to realize in healthy relationships, especially with a person romantically, that person is supposed to be a positive influence in your life, that the exchange of magic that they bring to you, it almost inspires you to independently do things that are loving for yourself. Real love won't have you sitting there crying in the mirror, robbing yourself for the sake of the fucking relationship, for the sake of the transaction, for the sake of the interaction. I've realized this year, I ain't making no fucking fugazi ass relations no more with people. Saving face, right? A lot of people are trying to save face with people, where they are realistically putting on a face like, yeah, everything's okay, I love you, but and you're just crying in the fucking mirror. Okay? What does save face mean? Retain respect and avoid humiliation. But the truth is, a lot of y'all are humiliating yourselves and you're disrespecting yourself in the process. I was in the nail salon the other day. I want to tell you the story. I recently switched to short nails, my natural nails, which is not my favorite thing to do, but for some reason, my nails are just not holding acrylic like they used to, and they just don't want it. So, I've switched over, and I went to the salon, and I was not happy with the job that the lady did. And for a long time, I didn't speak up in relationships and in things because I was afraid to look like a mean person, an ugly person, a disrespectful person. I didn't want to embarrass myself. But in the end, I still ended up disrespecting and embarrassing myself because I waited too long to speak and I became passive aggressive, and then I blow up on people, okay? Because the interaction hasn't been fair for me. I feel like it's unfair, and then finally I lose my shit, okay? That's not healthy. And saving face for the sake of that is not healthy. So I told the lady, hey, I'm not pleased with how you did this because last week this guy here did it and I liked the way he did it. Can you please ask him what it was extra that he put on my nails that made it? And I felt like I was being very superficial, but I felt like I was robbing myself. Because something as simple as I was tapping and I said, I hear that they're not hard enough. I'm bending them and I'm feeling like it's not hard enough. I know it's going to break, and if I have to come here next week because it's broken and waste 2 more hours out of my day and more money, I'm going to be very upset. And so I said, I'm politely asking you, can you please ask the gentleman what he did, because I saw what you did and it was not the same thing that he did to keep the consistency. Okay? She looked very annoyed with me that I was asking for what I wanted, and I was putting a boundary with her that was avoiding her from moving forward, I guess, on to the next person. I was getting very frustrated because for me, it was deeper, okay? It was deeper. It was the fact that this represented time out my day, money out of my pocket, the time I put into the love for myself of working what I do, and all of that being energy and a transaction that allows me to have these other transactions that are a reflection of my self-love and XYZ. So I found myself getting flustered. I could tell my mom was there with me. She was looking at me like, Tat doesn't usually act like this, okay? And so, Black Cat is crossing the street right now. It's so funny. He's just in the middle of the street. I see you, fam. I see you. And so there's a lady next to me, and I said to her, I said, I don't mean to sound nitpicky, but, I don't usually act like this, but I'm just really, really frustrated because this is not something that I want. And I've already sacrificed things that I've wanted, meaning long nails. I want longer nails. And if I'm going to grow my nails out, I'm going to put a lot of care into it. I don't want to sound like a bitch. Do I sound like a bitch? And she said to me, sweetheart, no, because nothing you said was ugly. Okay? And what I want to reiterate to you is that a lot of us, we fear looking ugly in transactions with people because we'd rather save face and suffer behind closed doors as we look in the mirror at ourselves, because they still treat us like shit, because they're still not fair transactions. And then we're just like, well, fuck, why is this shit just so, Understand this. All of us on this existence are conduits of spirit, okay? And intuitively, a lot of us get inclinations. The shit ain't right. And no matter how much face we save and we put effort to consistently show up and try to make a transaction fair to other people, if we're robbing ourselves, we got to put the swords up and be like, man, I need to make a really grounded decision that's going to, might reflect my shadow side, but it's going to possibly create a new way for me. And that's something I got to do on blind faith. But you know what, fam? I got to fucking do it. Black Cat. The Black Cat crossed our path. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Black Cat spiritual meaning. Black Cat Spirit Guide. When Black Cat appears as your spirit animal, it's time to let your personal form of magic shine. If Black Cat is your totem animal, you believe life's risks are good medicine and worth taking. Invoke Black Cat as your power animal when you need to believe you are worthy. Let's reiterate that. It's time to let your personal form of magic shine. You believe life's risks are good medicine and worth taking when you need to believe you are worthy. She up on the mirror fucking crying, looking like, I feel worthless, because you're probably saving face with motherfuckers that really aren't reflecting what you know you're worth, and you're being unfair to yourself, okay? So letting your personal magic shine, but that needs to be a fair exchange. And so if you need to take a risk on letting your personal magic shine, especially in relationships that are healthy and interdependent and not codependent, fucking do that. Because even right now, you have to understand that being a conduit of spirit, you as a spirit, sharing yourself is magic within itself. And that's something that is your currency on this planet. And you got to be careful with that. Because that's why some of y'all out here feeling broke in these streets, because it's more about what you feel like you're worth to yourself. Okay? Let's see what else it says. It says, feeling like you've been wrongly judged or accused, have big prejudices to overcome. Know you're truly magical, but you are having a hard time getting the world to accept you just the way you are. Black Cat energy can help. Wrongly accused or judged. You see how some of you are going to have to really put up boundaries and say things out of a place of love for yourself, and it's gonna look ugly to other people? That's why even the other day I said, am I being a bitch? And the woman said, no, honey, you didn't say anything ugly. You weren't ugly. And so it also says that black cat symbolism and meaning can be a bit hard to read. Throughout history, these beautiful creatures have been persecuted simply because of their black color. WhatisMySpiritAnimal.com seeks to educate folks about black cats. The bottom line is black cats are just as wonderful as every other feline. They are sentient because with personality and a huge capacity for love. It's utter nonsense to believe that black cats are bad omens. All animal spirit guides can appear to warn us of danger, but that does not make the animal themselves bad omens. It's the whole don't shoot the messenger thing, you know? Notice how in this season you are going to have to deliver certain messages in regards to your self-love and your transactions, and it might seem like a bad omen to you. It might seem like going to cause you bad luck, especially with other people, and you might feel outcasted and you might feel judged, but it's worth more than just saving face so you can go home and sit and then cry and suffer later in the mirror. The mysterious magical black cat has conflicting symbolism depending on the era and culture you read about, but let's start with a little science. Black cats are not a specific breed, but simply a cat with genetically produced black fur pigmentation. This seems to happen more in males than females. This is the same combination of genes that gives most black cats their stunning golden eyes that seem to pierce the night. The folklore of black cats seems to paint them as evil or wonderful. Scotland and Ireland generally held black cats in high regard. Their arrival at the home portended prosperity. Okay? So look at that, how I was saying you got to be really careful with your magic because it is your prosperity. The cat just showed up. He wasn't quick to run. He was standing in the middle of the street. I said, hey fam, maybe that is prosperity that is arriving at your crossroads right now. But sometimes in order to receive your prosperity, it comes through what you think is bad luck. Meaning you're having bad luck with friends, you're having bad luck with relationships, you're having bad luck. Maybe you have to change your luck by making decisions that affect how lucky and prosperous that you are. Okay? It says, for a single woman, owning a black cat was said to attract numerous suitors. Germans say that a black cat walking toward you or crossing left to right, that was how it read, grants wishes. The rest of Europe was not so kind to our sable feline friend. Here and in Western superstitions, the black cat was witches' familiar and represented bad luck, including potential death. So this is the thing. Bad luck in your life right now might be feeling like you're going to lose friends, the death of friendships, the death of relations in this season. But if they're not serving you, it opens up good luck, right? And even a witch, a person who is wise, a person who wants to manifest, who has the power and magic to do so, sometimes it comes through understanding life and death, the cycles, the seasons. And right now we are in the season of the witch. We are in the season of black cats and all of these things. Because a lot of shit about to die. A lot of shit about to die in your life. But it's worth letting it go, because at the end of the day, with these scales, at the end of your life, the fairness was up to you. If you wasn't fair to yourself, it ain't nobody else's fault who was unfair to you. Be fair to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. I'm gonna skip over that. The most notable veneration of black cats comes from Egypt. There's a cat goddess named Bast, oversaw all matters of protection. Egyptian homes hosted black cats to win her favor. In the wise words of the author Terry Pratchett, in ancient times cats were worshipped as gods. They have not forgotten this. The idea of housing a black cat for luck wasn't unique to Egyptians. History tells us that King Charles, who adored his black cat, upon its death he declared his good fortune gone. An odd bit of synchronicity, he was charged with treason the next day. Okay? Either way. Focus your personal power on how to use it. Black cats know magic, and this spirit animal is more than happy to assist you in the studies of that realm. So focus more on your personal power and how you use it. How many of us are fairly exchanging that? Again, let's just get back into these cards. The Ancestors card, reverse. Judgment. Balance. The ancestors are watching you, okay? This is the thing. I always joke around and I say the ancestors of the spirit guys, they're like the panel of America's Next Top Model. They are rooting for you, but when you make some fucked hard decisions, they'd be like, I was rooting for you. We're all, because this is the thing, the decisions that we make in our life, karma, the quality of our life precedes our decisions. So even if you are a good person making bad decisions on the magic that you have and how you're using your personal power, you are going to suffer. You are going to be sitting there saying, why is life so unfair right now? And I'm such a loving person. And why is it that all this love I give, I just can't get it back? I save so much face. I try to be respectful. Another reason for Black Cat's appearance may have to do with your sense of self. Do you feel shunned like the Black Cat or left in the dark all the time? Black Cat's spirit understands these emotions and comes to aid your healing process. You are worthy of love and dignity. You are worthy of love and dignity. But what the fuck does that mean? That means you have to fucking have it for yourself. Dignity. Okay? It also says, do not let any social stigmas take away from you. Controlling your interactions for the sake of your balance, your peace, and your mat, and the fairness of your life. Do not let social stigmas of being in total respect for yourself, having dignity and the highest self-love, acting brand fucking new when you need to with people to instill those barriers. Don't let that stop you. Okay? It symbolizes the way in which you see things. Are you figuratively behind some black veil that keeps you from recognizing the truth in yourself and others? If people are not showing you the same respect of love back to you, it ain't love. So why save face? Protect yourself. Protect your magic. Black Cat shows you new ways of looking at the world and may even encourage clairvoyant or other psychic aptitudes that boost intuition. The green eyes of a black cat might suggest it's time to grow your own personal form of magic. And sometimes your personal form of magic is learning protective magic. I always tell people, I don't believe in hexing people. I don't feel that you have to throw at people. But I do believe that you should protect yourself. Because this is the thing. When you throw at people from an ugly place, okay? You throw it, be prepared to get it back. And this is the thing. If you do something out of love, prepare to get more of it, okay? Even in situations that seem at first not loving, like bad luck, like, oh, that person called me ugly, but I knew, you know, people gaslight you like a motherfucker, okay? There's a lot of narcissistic people in this world. There's a lot of people that you're looking at and you're like, oh, they're so confident, whatever. Some people are really confident in gaslighting the fuck out of you and saying that you're not coming from a loving place and they're going to make themselves feel like the victim. But guess what? You can't let them. You want things to move forward. You want your wishes to come to manifestation. You want what spirit is bringing you from the upper realm to come through to the physical realm. Okay? And this is the thing. I want you to remember Aladdin, the magic lamp that's there, right? And let's remember that in Aladdin there were provisions. What is a provision? Provision definition. The action of providing or supplying something for use. An amount of things supplied or provided. So right now in this season of love, you have to have some provisions about your self-love and your love in general to other people, your magic. Because this is the thing. Genie said to Aladdin, Aladdin, I will grant you wishes, but there are some provisions and there are some protocol. In your life, you have to be very grounded in how you provide and you supply your magic to others. It is okay to protect your magic. It is okay to act brand new. Just because I gave you something yesterday don't mean I can snatch that shit the fuck back today. Just because I've been your friend today doesn't mean tomorrow you being my friend serves me, and that's okay. Okay? You feel me? And in Aladdin, I wonder what the provisions were in Aladdin. Aladdin's 3 rules, okay? Let's see if there's anything that we can gain from this. Tap.
What'll it be, Master? You're gonna grant me any 3 wishes I want, right? Almost. There are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos.
Like?
Rule number 1, I can't kill anybody.
Yeah, so don't ask.
Rule number 2, I can't make anybody fall in love with anybody else. Little pun up there. Rule number 3,
I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
other than that, you got it.
Okay? Can't hurt anybody. Can't make anybody fall in love with you. And can't bring people back from the dead. I want you to look at that right now, okay? In your life, don't use your magic to hurt people. Use your magic to protect yourself as much as possible and also protect other people without inflicting harm. Don't use your magic trying to force people to fall in love with you. It is not going to work. It's always going to backfire. Love is not forceful, okay? So you can't use your magic in an exchange to force someone to think that you're great, okay? You're going to end up getting hurt, okay? You can't bring things back from the dead. If things in this season are just dead and there is no resurrecting them, stop forcing and using your magic trying to bring it back, okay? These are the provisions of your magic, according to Genie. But there's some great rules. Really learning how to use your magic this season so that you're not ending up feeling like the victim anymore and you're out of balance and out of tune and out of sync. So the last card is Rada Ugan. Shows a man beating a drum and he's gone into a possession and he's left the physical world for that of the spiritual. I really feel like it's time for you to go into a deep meditation and get back into sync with what your dreams and your aspirations and your desires are, especially for the bigger picture of the end of 2018 going into 2019, especially with your interpersonal relationships. They say in this card, according to the book, that's a spirit, that man has a spirit of Chongo. Chongo is the Orisha of passion, justice, a balance, okay? What are you passionate about? Does it bring you justice? Does it bring you balance? If not, then maybe you should find some provisions of that passion and where you put it, okay? Because just because we're passionate about something doesn't mean we're loving. Just because you're passionate about keeping you as a friend doesn't mean I should keep you as a friend because maybe it's a waste of my magic. Maybe it's a waste of my time and my energy. That's why we have to have boundaries. That's why we have to think for ourselves. And that's definitely why we need to definitely take these things into consideration. So let's go ahead and pull a goddess card because this is a long-ass motherfucking reading. Goddess card. Kali. Endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. A lot of us are saving face. We're allowing people to stand in the doorway. You know how I feel about some people in our lives? You know how like people have their burdens? They can have kids and they just drop them off at whoever's house and pick them up and come as they go and please, but it's really, you know, they don't really care if anybody else wants anything. It's like, here, let me just drop this off here. I'm gonna block your doorway that you could go in and out and bring other blessings in here and have. That's how I feel about a lot of people in your life right now. You can't have people right now that are just blocking the doorway. They got their hands blocking other things that, you know, they got with their hand out. Like, can you? No, like, you're coming empty-handed. Like, the balance, like, you know, the balances have to be interchangeable. It's like, here, I got this, you got this, cool, we're just like this, and we're creating a cycle. So anything that's not solid in your life right now, because Kali Ma, she is a triple goddess. She is a destroyer, a preserver, and a creator. So right now, any chaos you're feeling in your life, whether it be with friends, family, love, whatever, trust the chaos, because things that are not solid this season, they are being fucking destroyed to reveal what is solid, what is consistent, and what is worth putting your magic into still, preserving that and allowing you to build from that. So like I said, the things that are old and no longer serving you, the fences that need to be torn down, tear down them bitches and reinforce them. They ain't serving, keeping shit out that's gonna cause harm to you and take away from your good shit. Reinforce the fence. update your technology, throw some fucking antivirus on your life because you need to keep the viruses and the succubi energy out. We're not saving face anymore for the sake of not looking ugly to people. If you are not moving from an ugly place, you ain't saying nothing ugly, and you are acting with good intention, fuck them. That is the shortest meditation I could tell you. I've said this before. You just need to meditate and be like, fuck them. Okay? Because you can say things with love. You can say, I mean this with no offense. I say this with love. And if people are not being receptive to what you are giving, take that shit back, because your time, energy, and magic is currency. And the energy that you put into motion is what manifests. So if you're putting your energy into drama and people that are dramatic and reactionary, that's all you're gonna get back in your life is more drama and more reactions that are just negative, and you don't fucking need it. Okay? A witch is a wise woman, okay? And a lot of times, witches, you know, they got burnt at the stake because people didn't like wise women, okay? A lot of you witches out there, you're going to get burnt by people going forward because people are not going to like how you use your wisdom or how you choose to administer the medicine or give it to them. Well, fuck them. Oh, well, put me in your burn book and let's write it off. That'll be your karma if you got any hatred towards my ass. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? So, this has been a really long reading. I hope that gives you something that you need this season. New moon in Libra. I'm feeling it. Like I said, I don't remember if I said my moon is in Libra. I'm feeling that shit. My shadows of wanting to be fair and be a people pleaser to save it. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a bigger, better life, it's okay to act brand new with people that are keeping you small. Because this is the thing. Sometimes if them fences aren't keeping out the bad shit and the fence is collapsing and it's falling in on you, it serves no purpose. And the higher you go up in life, the more energy you gonna often have coming at you, and you gotta do what you do to reinforce that. If you living in a castle, a lot of times that motherfucker got a fortress and a moat before you can get to that bitch. And so if you're trying to build a castle, you're going to have to invest some time in putting up a fortress and the moat and all that stuff to make sure that the people that are coming into your life and you're allowing into the castle, they reflect your sovereignty, your royalness, all of these things, your reign, your supreme. They respect your royal supreme. You know, it's about, you know, someone said yesterday, I saw it on my timeline. They said a lot of people think success is money and reaching these high fancy places in life, but success is truly a peace of mind. And so right now, if you ain't got a peace of mind with the relationships and the interpersonal shit you got going on in your life, you don't have success, and you're lacking some wealth. Wealth is truly a peace of mind. Okay? And so make sure you're going to bed at night not crying in the mirror because you're trying to save face, but you ain't got a peace of mind. All right? I love you all. I ask that you open your heart space and you open your minds, okay? Because opening your heart space right now and letting out any shit that's causing you pain is going to make space for good shit and love to pour back in. You opening up your mind to declutter your thoughts of taking on people's thoughts and judgments of you, you know, whatever. No, just clear that out, especially if you're a good person coming from a loving place. Be fair to yourself this season. Be fair to yourself this season. Justice. You know, justice is a hell of a thing. Where the fuck is my phone at? Let's see if there's any good justice quotes that speak to me right now. Justice quotes. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both. Sometimes you're doing someone a favor by doing justice by yourself, because if they are being a codependent on you, you're actually giving them the freedom to go be independent. Now go fly free. You don't need me, okay? Let's see if there's anything else that speaks to me. It is reasonable that everyone who acts justice should do justice. So if people are asking for you to do justice by your magic, by having you in their life, they got to be willing to meet you halfway. They got to put some respect on your name. You know what I'm saying? Saying yes. Okay? So, I ask that you do right by yourself. And if you're going to do bad by your motherfucking self. Don't be doing bad with these motherfuckers out here. And you just sitting at home and you surrounded by people but crying in the mirror. That is not success. That is not happiness. That is not prosperity. And that is not using your magic correctly. Feel me? If you would like to book a one-on-one session with me, www.thetrapwitch.com. What you see is what you fucking get. Counseling. I counsel often via intuitive divination, via cards, or just what spirit speaks to me through. You know, I'm very claircognizant and knowing without knowing. That's probably my skill. I be knowing. So if you feel like you don't know and you need someone to help you figure out something, holler at me. www.thetrapwitch.com. We will go ahead and we will dig up what is at the bottom of the basket right now in your life, your dirty laundry, and get that shit clean and cleared out so that you can step out brand spanking new, and so you can allow life to bring you in what you need by just rearranging and changing your energy up. Sometimes you just, gotta step out in some new clothes. It's the same shit, but put it together differently. What the fuck am I even talking about right now? Anyway, love you all. I hope you have a blessed, beautiful new moon, and I will be seeing you again soon. Love and light, y'all.